Everybody and welcome. We are just about ready to start. Let's do a quick sound check, make sure that everybody can hear me all right. So if you can please tap yes in a question box, that'd be great. Fantastic. So let us start. So hello everybody and welcome to Nadex webinar series. Today we are going to have a live trading session with Nadex contracts. My name is Tamar Meir. I'm part of the trading team at Trade with Precision. Now before we head on into the presentation, we have to go through some risk warning and disclaimers. So please have a read through them, make sure that you agree with them before continuing on to the presentation. So they're going to be two, one for Trade with Precision and one for Nadex. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to read each of those. And the second one? All right, so I want to tell you a little bit about Nadex. Well, Nadex is a derivative exchange that is subject to regulatory oversight by the CFTC. It is newly formed in 2007 and it is based in Chicago, which is the heart of the financials of futures and options market. Now, all contracts are settled in cash. There is no physical delivery, and we have a wide range of global markets to trade with two very unique vehicles, binary options and spreads. Now, a little bit about Trade with Precision. Well, it was founded by our head trader, Nick McDonald, all the way back in 2006, and we've been providing education for retail traders. We also provide international trader training for clients, global brands, including exchange and brokers around the world. We team up with Nadex in 2011, and we are a company that run by traders for traders. And we also specialize in trading strategies on any market and any time frame. Now you can now trade with Nadex on the go, so you can filter for trade opportunities, searching binaries from 1 to 0. You can have a fast, secure, and flexible access to binary options and spread. You got most of the popular market available in real time. You can customize your chart, so you can add the indicators that you like to use, moving averages and so forth, and also look at multiple time frame. And you can view your open position, working orders, and account balance. All right, so let's have a look. What are we going to see on the agenda for today? So first of all, we're going to see some trading, how we are looking for trading opportunities. So for those of you who've been through the advanced course, you'll see, you'll recognize the way I'm looking at the chart, the trading ingredients, the technical analysis that I'm looking at, the ingredients that make the strategy that I'm looking for trading opportunity. So we can look at US indices, we can look at currencies, we're looking at commodities. Basically, guys, if there is any market that you're highly interested in, we'll have a look at that. Otherwise, we'll just scan the market for opportunities. We'll start with the one that I like today, but you know, it can change and we can move on. All right, we're going to talk about the elements that I'm looking at those charts, so reasons why I think the market either be pulling back into that area or have a higher likelihood of moving on from there, and also try to assess where to with that market. So let's say we are finding a really nice trading opportunity, which sort of contract will be the right way to go, what sort of profit target am I looking at from that, and so forth. So this is an example on the momentum breakout strategy. So in our advanced course for Nadex, we teach two complete trading strategy. One is the momentum breakout strategy, which is basically what we're after is that explosive power in the market where the market comes into a level either of support or for resistance, and we have that compression of price into that level until the level gave in, and we have a breakout through that level. So we basically identify where we have good levels that we would like to have a breakout from that, and also we have another indicators that show us if these levels are actually have a higher likelihood of failing, because not all levels of support and resistance are going to give us a very good breakout momentum strategy, and also there are levels that are going to fail. So what if I can eliminate some of those levels? Obviously none of it is going to be with 100%, but at least I'll get more information, more indication that this opportunity is going to go in the direction that I actually think this market is about to go, so in the direction that I'm taking my opportunity. The second strategy is the trend flow strategy. So over here, the example that we've got is 2 hours and 4 hours. We need 2 time frame. We need a nice trend. So with all our trading strategy, what we're looking at is optimal chart structure. So we don't like messy charts too much. Having said that, when I'm looking to trade with binaries, I can actually look to trade in a market that is moving sideways, because I don't need the market to move too much, and then I can get my one-to-one out of that one. I can buy the contract that is in the money. I don't need to have much movement in that market, and I can end up with a nice reward on that opportunity. But to look for a good move in the market, I need to have a market that is trending. All right, so this was just a quick introduction to the trading strategies and what we are, the elements that we are looking at. Let me just switch into the chart, and we'll start having a look at the market. So here are my charts. I hope you can see them. If there's at any point the charts you can't see them, let me know. It's probably will take time until everything will filter through, but it should come out pretty soon. If you can't see the chart, let me know. I think I'll move this one over here so it won't be in the middle. Okay, all right. Let me just go somewhere. I'm trying to locate the question box without being on top of the charts. All right, so let's have a look what I've got here. So this is the setting that I like to use, you know, H2 zone, whatever. Oh, I see that you can't see the chart. Can you, I'll wait until I get confirmation that you see the chart. Because it's more information, it takes time to filter through than a presentation. So I'm going to make, okay, cool, fantastic. So it's come through. All right, so this is how I like to have a look at my chart. You know, everybody have a different type of setting that they like to have a look at. But for me, and I just want to kind of take you through this as well, I like to have the 1 hour, the 4 hours, and the daily. What it gives me, it's a bigger, broader perspective into a higher time frame, mid time frame, and lower time frame. You see, if I can see, for example, quite quickly, I can see that the daily is in a very nice uptrend, and I can see that it's overextended. What does it mean, overextended? For those of you who haven't been through the advanced course, it means that the price is a little bit further from the moving averages. The moving averages, what we're looking at is the equilibrium zone. I'm looking for a pullback into that equilibrium zone and a continuation of this move. So currently the daily is a little bit overextended. What I can also see is that the 4 hours is coming into this previous high. So much of this move has already been done, and I can see that the 1 hour, while not giving me a very nice uptrend, is also overextended. I can see that on this area here we didn't have much of a clear direction. We're kind of going sideways before we burst higher. So when I'm looking at the 1 hour, the 4 hours, and the daily, I can see that this market is in an overall uptrend, but there are no trading opportunities for me right now. I can't find any nice levels of support and resistance that I like to see a breakout from, and we are overextended, so there's no trend flow opportunity either. There is also the 1 hour. The trend is a little bit ruined right now, and I have to wait for it to come back. Now, when you look at the 4 hours as an example, let me just move that out, and let me zoom a little bit in, we can see that we've got something around here. I can see that there's a touch here. There's a touch quite close to it over here. And if you can see, this is also the 77 level. So if I'll take a quick look at higher time frame over here, what we can spot, and let me just mark it down, this is the 77 level. All right, so we can see we had a few touches around it in the past, but the 76 would be a bit more a stronger level, and we are currently above it. So what I would like to see from this market, perhaps on the daily, a pullback in and around the 76, and then look for a continuation higher, even 76.5, just for the market to catch up with the averages. But there are no trading opportunities at the moment here for me. Let's have a look at euro dollar, and you know what, we had some really strong move the past couple of days in the US dollar, so we might see all of these market overextended. But I want to show you the kind of trends that I'm after, the kind of opportunity that I'm looking at. So looking at euro dollar as an example, again, beautiful uptrend over here. We cleared here the previous high, making another higher high. We are very much overextended on the daily. Perhaps a pullback into the 113 will be something that I'll be quite interested in. You can see that over here we had a really small bullish candle in the buy zone on the 4 hours, and then a continuation higher. We also overextended here. This was a really lovely opportunity, but obviously the market has moved from that. Again, on the 1 hour we're overextended. There's nothing much to look at on these time frames. Let's move perhaps into the yen. Let's have a look at Aussie yen. And I don't need to switch to lower time frame right now to see if there's any trading opportunity on those, because I can tell from the 1 hour that it's going to be overextended. I need the lower time frame to pull back in order to give me a nice opportunity. Now looking at the yen, there is again a little bit overextension here, a little bit mess on the 1 hour. The one thing that I do see on the yen is that we are overextended and we're starting to pull back. We found some support at the 86.50. So if we zoom out a little bit and mark where we are, this is where we're sitting around the 86.50, which we had a touch here, another touch here, some more touches here and here, a couple of touches in and around. So this is quite a level on this market. So what can I look to do in this situation? Well, the market is currently pulling back. So let's take a look at the 15 minutes, because what it's doing, it's reacting to that level. Now looking at the 15 minutes, currently what I've got here, the 15 minutes was in an uptrend, and then we made a higher high and fell the next one. So if this candle is going to close as bearish as it is, and we're going to have a breakdown through it, then this time frame will be breaking the uptrend, because right now we made a lower high, and then perhaps we could see a push lower. But the thing is, we're still in an uptrend right now, so any way of taking this opportunity lower will be going against the direction of the trend, even though we have that really nice level of resistance here. Looking at the 5 minutes, perhaps we can get a 5 minutes out of that one. And you know what, it's still not a very clear trend. We don't have a nice trend to the downside. This is still, moving averages are still looking to the upside. So 10 above the 20, above the 50, above the 200, they're still setting to an uptrend. They're not setting up for a downtrend. So everything contradicts that move. So even going counter trend at the moment is not something that I have confirmation for. What I would like to see is perhaps a pullback in and around this area. We can take the Fibonacci from the low right here into the high. We don't have much of a cluster, so we don't have the pivot clustering with anything over here, so there's nothing much in and around that level, and I could see a pullback somewhere around here, which are the previous high. However, we are coming up into a very strong level again. So what I would like to see is perhaps price consolidating below that level, and then look for a breakout of that level. And at that time, when price will consolidate underneath that level, could also bring the moving averages on the daily closer to the buy zone. So I won't be too far away, so I won't have too much of a wasted momentum. So my plan for this easiest one will be actually to wait to see if either two options, right? Either we break through that level, then what I would look for is a pullback to test that level from above. As you can see on the daily, very strong level. So that would be one opportunity to go by, and that would probably be from the mid to the higher time frame. The other option would be if the market is now going to consolidate at this 86.50 with equal highs and higher lows, so I'm going to need a couple of touches for that, then I'll look to assess if this is a good breakout opportunity, but we don't have any of that yet, but definitely one for the watching. All right, if you guys have any favorite that you want to have a look at, let me know. Otherwise, let's just keep on going. All right, let's have a look at Dollar CAD. We had fantastic move on Dollar CAD. Oops, not this one, Dollar CAD. There we are. Okay, and gold. Okay, we'll have a look at gold next. All right, Dollar CAD, again, the move has already happened. We had that beautiful, beautiful pullback into the sell zone. I want to show you how important levels are. Question, you said two options. What is the second option? Okay, let me go back there and before we move into Dollar CAD and the others, and I'll come back to that. All right, so what I'm looking at, let me just use a little bit of a drawing here. So the second option would be if this market is going to find now, I'm going to have a touch here and then the market is going to pull back from it. And then it's going to come up, touch it again and fall back from it. And then another touch and fall back from it. And then break higher. I would like to take it as the breakout happens. So this is the breakout opportunity. So I need to see that good consolidation underneath on the lower time frame. So this would be a 15 minutes or 30 minutes type of opportunity. That would be as a breakout if this is what the market will do. However, if the market is going to go and break through this strong level somewhere around before giving me that consolidation underneath, then what I'll be waiting for on the mid to higher time frame, a break and a pullback to test that level from above. So two different options and on different time frames as well. Hi, how can I set up my Nadex screen as you are showing on the training now? This is not the Nadex screen. This is an independent chart provider. So it's not the Nadex chart. So I like to use a different charting because I like to see all the information over here. It's not necessary. It's up to you. But this is a separate one, so I can show you a lot of information at the same time. Okay. All right. So we had a look at Dollar CAD. Let's move there quickly. Cool, that was fantastic. All right, so when we're looking at Dollar CAD, again, the move has already happened, but what I want to show you here, this is for, the next sort of pullback that we're going to have, is sometimes it's all about, in trading, it's all about sitting and discipline and waiting for the market to pull back and give you the right opportunity. So if I'll just jump quickly into the monthly, you can see I've got these levels marked. The 132 to the 133 are very, very strong here on this market. We've got, you can see even the touches here on the monthly. If we move down into the weekly, you can see the touches above this level, the 133 into the 132, very, very strong level. So on the daily, as we were breaking down through that level, was looking for a pullback into that level. So you're looking exactly what I mentioned in Aussie yen. This is exactly what I was waiting for in Dollar CAD, is a pullback into that level to test it from underneath, rejection of that level and a continuation further. So obviously that move has already happened. We broke down also the 1.3. We're a little bit overextended. So right now from the daily there are no opportunities. The 4 hours overextended, the 1 hour is overextended, and another thing that comes into, and I think we can see it a bit clearer on the 2 hours, is divergence coming into this market. So let me just quickly show you what I mean. I just want to use the drawing tool. All right, so what I'm looking for when I'm looking at optimal chart structure, I'm also wanting the indicators to give me a confirmation that this trend is about to continue. So as in a downtrend, I'm looking at the lows that the market is making. So from this low to this low, what I'd like to see is the market making lower lows as well. So there's a low, and what you can see here, a higher low. There's a low and there's a higher low. So we're starting to see divergence coming in. What's the meaning of divergence in this situation? Well, basically what we're saying is that it doesn't necessarily mean that this downtrend is over, but we could see either a bigger pullback perhaps into the 50 moving averages, or we can see the market just pulling up a little bit higher, taking the previous high and then continuing lower, or maybe going sideways. But either way, what it wants to tell us is that this is kind of like a red light. Watch out, this trend is running out of momentum. And it's not very surprising, excuse me, sorry. And it's not very surprising because what we can see is that daily overextended and we are due a pullback. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen now. It can happen in the next push lower, but we are closer to a pullback. You can see the same coming up here from the 4 hours as well, and we could see the same picture from the 1 hours too. All right, let me pick up a couple of questions. What is the name of the software? It's Pro Real Time. Are you at liberty to say? Yes, because it's an independent software. Okay. All right. So I've got a request here for gold. So let's have a look. Okay. So gold, let's start. This is what I like to do. Let's start a top-down approach here. So what we can see here on gold, we are rejecting here this 1180 level quite nicely. We can see we're in a downtrend and we broke it completely. However, we haven't confirmed the uptrend here on the monthly, and let's see what is the next level that we can identify from the monthly. So somewhere around here we've already been, so 1250 thereabout. Looks like a very nice level here on gold. So and the next one around the 1300, so the round number. So also levels of support and resistance we do tend to find around round numbers as well. It's mostly psychological than anything else. Now as you can see, the weekly, we had a nice pullback. You know what, we can say we're in an uptrend here. It's not the most magnificent uptrends of all, but we are looking rather bullish and very bullish for this week as well. On the daily, the picture is a little bit different. So we started to downtrend as we pulled back, and now we're pushing higher. Unfortunately, we're still in a downtrend on the daily. It takes time for lower time frame for higher time frame to change direction. So what I like to see, if I'm looking at a more bullish move from the weekly point of view, what I'd like to see is if this market starts to change direction on the lower time frame. Yeah, so this daily will take time until it changes direction. Currently all I've got here is a pullback into the previous low over here. What I like about today's scenario so far is we had a pullback and then a fall from it, so really looking at a lower high, but we completely rejected that so far. So it depends how this is going to close. If it's going to close higher than the previous day, it's going to look a lot more bullish. However, if it's going to break the low, then it will confirm the lower high. So today is going to be very important for the direction of the daily. If we're looking at the mid time frame has already changed direction. We are in an uptrend over here and we started to move higher. There isn't much strength in that move. However, you can see that we're rejecting the high so far. And on the, let's move into the 1 hour, it's better. You can see in the 1 hour we are a little bit of a mess here. These sort of candles, they tell us there's a big emotional reaction in the market. These are not the kind of lovely candles that we would like to see. If we can compare it to this move over here, we had a nice small candle pulling back, move away, pulling back into the buy zone, move away, pulling back into the buy zone, not so much a move away. This is where this chart started to get ugly. But as you can see, really nice nice and small kind of movement until we finish with a really what we call a big bang, because what we have is a big candle. They drive it really far into the overextension, and then we end up with a pullback, the much anticipated pullback. So we like to see these small candles and then the big candles coming up after them. We talked about optimal chart structure. If you have a look at the 1 hour, there's none of that over here, because what I've got here is a high and then lower low, and now we're bursting higher again, and there is all these indecision candles. So it's a big candles, big wicks to each direction, and a body in the middle. It's not bullish, it's not bearish, it's completely indecision. The size to the top and the size to the bottom is quite similar. Currently we found some resistance at that daily pivot and looking to pull back. So let's see if maybe there is a lower time frame type of opportunity, but it's not as far away. You know what? No, because this time frame, even though we broke to a lower low, we then broke into a higher high. So we don't have any clear direction. Perhaps we'll have a pullback somewhere into the buy zone. We still have the moving averages fanning and in the correct order for an uptrend here. So it's a quite similar situation as we've seen before. There's nothing here at the moment. It seems that the opportunities have already happened. But as the day just started, the trading day, then perhaps, not on the forex, obviously on the index market, then perhaps we'll see some nice movement if we have a look at higher time frame and we can anticipate what can happen next in the market. So the next one was on the S&P. So let's have a look at that. Let me just move into that. All right. Okay, so again, let's do a top-down approach. Let's assess the level. Now, major level up above, without a doubt, the 2100. In and around that level, we can see how many touches and how many times we came up above it, couldn't break it, and fell from it. Now, on the monthly, technically, a downtrend, right? Because there's a high, low, lower high, lower low, and now we're pulling back again. But we had a really, really bullish month for this month, and it's probably going to end up bullish unless something, completely strong is going to happen today, last trading day of the month. This is going to finish quite bullish. If we'll move into the weekly is while we rejected this low once again, we're coming up into the next area. So we have, if we'll mark, let's mark the levels, because you know what, it's a little bit messy around here. So let's zoom out. So there's a level over here which we cleared out. You can see touches here, some more touches over here. We are currently above it. The next level is somewhere around here, so around the 2090. So we have about 30 points to go. So this is from the weekly point of view. Let's move into the daily. Now the daily is a beautiful move to the upside. We pull back again into the buy zone and a move away. We're starting to diverge. However, you can see as the market made higher high, the indicators, the MACD is making, it's not too bad. It's sort of flat to diverge, and the MACD is on the RSI, sorry, is flat as well. So we might see a pullback a little bit over here. So the daily still looks strong. We identify from the from the weekly that we still have a little bit more room to go. From the daily, let's see if there are any other levels here on the daily. There is this one, the 2080, it's still another 17 points away, 16 points away. So there is a bit more room to move on the lower time frame. So I'm going to look at the daily. Let's go into the 4 hours. So on the 4 hours, again, nice uptrend, move away, pull back into the buy zone. We had a bullish candle, let's just zoom that in, bullish candle in the buy zone and a break above it. Now, when we see a bullish candle and a break above this signal the next higher low in this trend. So looking for the market to continue higher and break this previous high and give me another higher high. So while this trend is sorry, I'm looking at the questions. So while this trend is not, it's been for a while, and we can see that there might be a pullback coming out, it still looks quite nice for a continuation of this uptrend. What are the levels? So the levels of support and resistance. So what I'm looking at is which sort of areas the market has been touching a couple of times and reacting to it. So if we'll take a look as an example on the levels that we marked on the weekly, and I just zoom out a bit so you can see all the level. If we'll take a look, for example, at this level around the 2045, and it's not precise, right? It's just marking with the mouse, is that I've got a couple of touches here. You can see there support that the market has found on that level over here. Another support here, some support here, and another one over here. Now, mind you that when you look at the contract, this is indicative prices. So what we have to do when we get into the platform is also open the chart and have a look at the levels on the chart, because you wouldn't want to take the underlying market feed and take that number and put it as the correct entry in the platform, okay? Because in the platform is indicative prices, and therefore we have to take the correct prices over there. Okay, but let's have a look if we can find some opportunity just as the market opens. Let's have a look. So into the 1 hour. So we see that the market is starting to pull back. This is all happened on the Asian session that sort of move higher, and the UK session, and now we see we have a higher high, but we don't know if we're going to have a higher low here. So we haven't had a nice push higher going down the time frame. The 15 minutes is not very nice. We've got here, this is nice. This came down to test it from underneath and came up higher, rejecting that pivot over here on this level. And we've got a bullish candle here in the buy zone. It's too big. It's too erratic. I don't like this price action. Go down, lower time frame. And no, there's nothing here. There's nothing here so far. So here's a couple of things that we might, because I want to start and show you a bit about the platform as well. So this opportunity is all right. It's not completely my favorite, because there is a potential to see this market coming up and test the previous level 2080 and then 2090. We can see here from the 2 hours we have a push higher and continuing. It's mostly going to be from the 4 hours. Let's take a look at the 8 hours. The 8 hours looks good as well. We pulled back into the buy zone. We're rejecting this pivot area. So and we're also pulled back into the previous high over here. And also this, so these lines that I've got here, this is last week high. So it's also pulled back into last week high. So that looks quite all right. So we already a little bit late, because the market already broke the high of that candle. So the candle is the high 2062.8, and we are about 2 points higher. But let's say we came in time and we found this opportunity and would like to take it as it pushed higher. So let's move into the platform and have a look. What sort of opportunities do we have, and where can I take the target, keeping in mind the levels that I have and the time that I've got until expiry. Okay, so let's take a look. We want to open the S&P. Okay, so couple of things around how I choose the time frame that I'm looking for this market to move. Now, if we'll go back into the chart, what we can see is that the opportunity, the one that I see here on this time frame, is on the 4 hours with confirmation on the 8 hours. Now, what I like to do is I like to see how many candles sort of worked out the previous move. Obviously, this was a big move, and then the pullback. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 or 5 candles into that move. So 4 or 5 candles of 4 hours, we can say about 20 hours. And if we look at it from the 8 hours, obviously it's the same amount, but you can see that this is not, as an example, an opportunity that what I would expect to finish within the next hour, because I'm looking at it from a mid-time frame point of view and also from a daily perspective. The only thing is from the weekly we're a bit further away, and on the daily we're also a little bit overextended, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. It's not too badly. It's not a huge overextension like we've seen, for example, on Dollar CAD, to see the market come up and test the next level, so in and around the 2080. So I like this on the mid time frame. So if we'll come back into the platform, so looking at something that it's going to expire, looking at, say, this binary that's going to expire in 25 minutes, that's not going to get me a further move as much as I anticipate, because remember what I am after from this this opportunity is to continue the uptrend to break the previous high and give me another higher high. I'm not going to make it in 24 minutes, so that's not going to be the right one to choose. Now, what about the next one? So the next one is the is going to finish in 1 hour and 30 minutes, right? So when I'm looking at this, can I have a 4 hours opportunity getting my target in 1 hour and 30 minutes? I could, if there's going to be some massive move on the opening, but in all likelihood, I prefer to have a bit more time for my opportunity to move. I could get my 1-to-1 out of that one, but probably not further. So the next option, I've got the daily. Excuse me, I've got the daily option. I've got about 6 hours and 40 minutes until this one runs out, or I can think about the weekly. The only thing is with the weekly is that we have to, first of all, it's Thursday, so we have 2 days left in that. If I'm waiting for a really big push, if I'm taking it off the daily, probably a Thursday will not be the best idea to take something for a really big run. Second thing that I want to mention is that non-farm payrolls is due tomorrow, and that have a huge effect on the market. So it would have a really strong effect. Tends to, it's been there in the past, we tend to see massive reaction to the result that comes out on non-farm payroll. So sometimes we see a major drop in the market, sometimes we see a major move higher in the market, and that weekly is going to expire after non-farm payroll is going to be released, because I think it's released about an hour before the market opens. So that's going to affect my opportunity as well, and I have to take that into consideration. I have to think what else can affect my opportunity. It's not just the nice opportunity that I found, it's also what other things out there on the economic calendar. So very important to check. All right, so let's say there is no non-farm payroll tomorrow. Let's say that I'm happy to have my opportunity either to finish in the next 6.5 hours, or if we're looking at the weekly, we've got a day and 6.5 hours to go. All right, so let's see, let's assume that I wanted to give this market a bit more time to move, and I'm going to choose my weekly binary. So let's go back into, actually what I want to do here is open the chart and have a look at the market on this chart so I can see the exact information. I'll just wait for it to load. I sometimes have, there we go. Okay, maybe in the meantime, while it loads, I don't want the 2 minutes, I want the 4 hours. I'm waiting for the data to load. Okay, there's another, if it takes time here because of the connection, what I'll do is I'll just go back into my my chart, and I'll have a look at the levels right now. So where the market sits right now is 2064. So 2064, and if I open just one of the tickets, what I can see here is 20, where is it, the number? So it's 2055.75, so it's a little bit different than what I have. So it's about 4 points different. Let's just go back. See if this one is working, because that will give us a better indication of where we are. I'm just going to open it again, see if it works. Oh, because it's opened this one, not this one. I didn't want this one. Sorry. Not because it's opened the chart for the binary and I don't want that. Okay, let's just leave that because I don't know why it doesn't open it for me. So let's go straight into the levels. Okay, so currently it sits at 2056, and this is usually what I do because it's a lot quicker than everything else. So let's look into that. So 2056, and currently it's 2065. So this is about 9 points different from what I see here. Okay, so this is where I need to basically calculate it. Now I've got about 9 points different, and I think that this market is going to at least give me a previous touch of the next previous high. So if it's 2070, what I need to do is add another about 9 points. I'm going into 2079, and you guys, you don't need to do that. If you're looking at the charts themselves, it just gives you the exact information. Okay, just looking at this like this. All right, so let's go back into it and let's assess where we can see it. So approximately I'm thinking that this market is going to touch the previous level, and the previous level needs to be, in this case, from what I could see, is about, let's go back there again. So this is 74, which is 9, and this is 70, so about 2080. So let's say 2080. So let's go back into the chart. Looking at 2080, this is the one that I can look at. So there's two ones that can work for me. There's a 2070, and then there is a 2080, and you can see this one is quite cheap because it's a lot further in the money. It's out of the money, so it means that the market really needs to move a lot in order to get into that opportunity. The other thing that we need to think about is that I've got a lot of time for this market to go, but what if the market could get, you know, very close to a 1-to-1 and then fall from it? Then if I'm choosing the one that it's where I think the market is going to get, but it might get there next week, which by then I'm going to lose on this binary, then perhaps what I need to do is find a way to first protect my risk and also be able to get a further reward to risk if the market moves further in my favor. So what I'm aiming at is doing a scaling out of this market. So taking half of my position at 1-to-1, and then taking my other position, say 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, or as have you seen me looking here, saying, okay, where is the previous high? I believe the market is going to come and test that high. Therefore, there is going to be the next option that I'm going to buy. So what I can do also, and by the way, the weekly option is going to be a bit more expensive than the daily option simply because it has more time value. So what I can also do, I can mix between the two of them. So what I like doing is, and I like protecting my risk, so I much prefer having half my position reaching my very further target and still be my other half just getting a 1-to-1, so it's removed the risk from the table. No matter what happens, I end up with a break-even trade or a successful trade. But if my first target is hit, then I have no risk on the table. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll have a look at the daily binary, and one that is currently sitting where we are at the moment, which is somewhere around here is the 2056. You can see according to the bid and the offer. So I can buy this one, and really this is where the market is sitting right about now. So I don't need the market to move too much for this to be a profitable trade. So let's say this is the one that I'm after, and let's say that the market, this is where it is at the moment. So let's say that my risk, my overall risk that I'm looking to put in this trade, let's say it's $200, and I'm saying I'd like to have half at 1-to-1 and half my weekly binary that I've identified as a really nice opportunity for the market to keep on going. So what I'll do here, you can see that when I chose the price of 50, then I can have my maximum loss is going to be 50. So to get my full half position, I need to contract, and I can buy into that market. Okay, so this is where obviously this one is moving, and I'd like it to trigger me in. So let's just take that one in. Okay. So this is one that I've taken because I believe this market is going to move higher. So that's going to be my 1-to-1. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to move into the weekly, and I'm going to take my other half on a further out of the money opportunity. So I've got two options here. I can take here this one, the 2069.5, and that would give me a roughly 4-to-1 out of this one. Or I can take this one, and this could give me something of around 17-to-1. I can also look to break the two of them, so I can take quarter at this at about 4-to-1 and another quarter at this one, because maybe there is no high likelihood that we are going to get there in the right time. So let's say that I've decided to be less aggressive, and I'm taking this opportunity. So right now I'm looking at this opportunity. I want to enter right here. So this is going to be my maximum loss in case this one goes against me. Now remember, my other half was $100 because my total risk is $200. So how many contracts do I need to get to $100? It's approximately. Now what I like is just play with the size, and I can see this is a better price. Let's go at it. We come in really close to it. It's a little bit of an issue. We have to make a decision. Do we want to go a little bit higher, or do we want to go a little bit lower? Let's just say that I'm okay with a little bit higher over here. So I'm going to place this order, and I'm going to enter this market at a buy order as well. So basically what I've done here is that I broke my opportunity into two stages. So my belief was, let's go back into the market, that we're going to see, and let's say that I came in time and I saw this market just as this candle closed, and we're coming up at the break of this candle. So let's say that this market, I see this as a really nice opportunity. Let's say that it didn't move 3 points as it already did. So my 1-to-1 doesn't need to be further away. All I needed is for it to close quite above where we are, and I'm already cleared my 1-to-1. And by the way, I could have taken that 1-to-1 on the options that is about to expire really quickly. However, that would mean that it would be, if we'll take a look at the prices. So let's have a look at the one that is close to expiry. So that would be a bit more expensive for us to take. It wouldn't be as a good opportunity because we couldn't get this as a good price as we did over here. So let me cancel this one and have a look at the levels that we got. So we got here 56 in a really nice pricing, and the pricing here is not as great as we got it there. So it also has something that we need to decide, but also this is very much a possibility where we take something that is, I believe it's going to be a really big push out of that one in the next couple of minutes. So I can take this one, or I can take this one as well. So I've got about an hour and 12 minutes for it to go and wait for the market to do that push. It doesn't have to be the same time of expiry, okay? So I got this question quite a lot when we ran through the advanced course. We don't have to have the same time for expiry, and we don't have to have the same levels, right? So I can play with that to give me the best possibility outcome out of those opportunities. So I'm glad we found something that we can use as an example as entry. Let's go back into the presentation. There's a couple of things that I want to tell you. You know what? We've got maybe no, we've got a little bit of time. Let's have a look at the Dow to see where the Dow is going. See if we can see some similar opportunity. The Nasdaq is also looking quite shiny and nice, so let's have a look at that. And we can see that the Dow is pretty much the same. We've got a nice bullish candle in the buy zone and a break above it. Levels of support and resistance in this one. The next one's up somewhere around here, the 1800s. It's pretty much the same idea here. We can see looking quite similar, the 8 hours as well. So excuse me, I like this, they do move quite the same, so let's have a look at the Nasdaq, the time that we have left. Could you maybe look at crude? You know what, yes, let's do that. Let's have a look at crude because we spend a bit of time here on the index market. Same scenario, by the way, small bullish candle in the buy zone, not as small as the previous one, but nice and bullish and moving forward. 8 hours is not in the buy zone. So, and in the S&P, we actually pull back into the previous high. So Nasdaq looks a bit more stronger, but they all tend to move quite the same, don't they? So yeah, looking quite bullish. Next level, very strong though, over here around the 4,500. Let's have a look at crude. All right, so crude, you know what? It's having big issues of breaking the 4,000 level. So this is where crude sits a little bit very, very interestingly. Let me move this. Let me just see more questions. Awesome presentation, by the way. It's really good. That's fantastic. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. You know, you never know what the market is going to give you. You cannot prepare for that. Okay, so what we've got here, we've got the 4,000 level, very strong level up above, and what you can see here is around the 38 level. And again, these prices, as I said, it's not the same as what we're going to see on the platform, so be aware of that and always draw your levels of support and resistance. But what you can see, we found support, we found resistance, we stuck in a range. I like ranging market for binaries because when the market comes down into the range, what I can do, I can buy through that opportunity expecting for it to come up and test the previous range. It gives me a really nice distance. Currently we're sitting in the middle. I don't like the middle of the range. The middle of the range could go either higher or lower, so I don't have high probability of where this one is going to go. But if we're sitting at the bottom, I'd like to see, you know, in a range, unless I see a reason that this range is about to break, then I definitely would take a binary to buy it all the way up into the higher part. And once we get to the higher part, I'll do exactly the same and I'll sell into the downside, unless I see a reason, by the way, that this channel is about to get broken. But so far we're stuck in a channel, however, in the middle of the channel. So for me, not much action. It's a 50-50 for me. If it's going to go higher or lower, I don't have high probabilities. When you look at the 4 hours, we've got here a lower low, but we see divergence coming in, so we could see a bigger pullback, which will coincide very nicely with the coming up and testing the top of the range. Let's have a look at the 1 hour in this case. Yeah, nothing. Quite ugly. Again, reacting to the bottom of this level. So if there was anything here, we missed it. I missed it. It's usually at the bottom of the range to the top of the range. But there's nothing at the moment to indicate a higher move or a lower move. I'd like to see a break either below it and then a continuation of the overall move that we've seen massively on the monthly. So if you can check the monthly is in a downtrend and pulling back into the sell zone and to test even, you know what, we could even see a pullback all the way into the 4,500, still going to be beautiful and in the sell zone and still respecting the downtrend over here. So a break below the 38 could see a push lower and a continuation of the downtrend. A break above could see just this market pulling back a little bit further. On the weekly though, the weekly is now in an uptrend and it could be the next higher low in this market. So there is no clear direction at the moment. It's stuck in a range and I'm waiting for this to either, for a longer term move, I'm waiting for this to either break the low or break the high. Okay, a request for natural gas. So let's do that quickly and then we'll move back into the presentation. Okay. All right, so natural gas, let's have a look all the way from the monthly. So monthly is in a downtrend and is pulling back currently. So we were in a downtrend, we had pull back into the sell zone, move away, and currently we're in the process of pulling back. It's sitting in and around the $20 mark. it's quite a level around here. This whole area is quite a level. You can see that from the 4 hours. You know what, this is just a sharp move. It really doesn't look very nice. We had a nice uptrend, we broke it, we didn't really break it that high and then continue higher. It's not much of a strong direction. Let's go into the weekly here. Weekly is still in a downtrend but doesn't look very bearish. We had a small bearish candle in the sell zone that failed. So basically we broke the high of it before breaking the low, which means that we didn't confirm a higher low here. And we're just continuing higher. There is divergence coming in here on the RSI and flat on the MACD, so we could see this market pulling further, perhaps into the 22 level over here. Into the daily, let's see what the daily excuse me, what the daily is saying. The daily is now in an uptrend. We broke this previous high. We haven't changed direction here on the moving averages, so the 50 is still not in the correct order, but indicators are pushing higher quite nicely, so it looks more bullish than bearish right now, with a possibility of a pullback into this 2200. The lower time frame don't look so good. This is consolidation and a push. Even here, if we look at what happened previously, let me just move this, we can see big push, consolidation. It's not much of a very nice opportunities. You know, if you compare it to that small bullish candle that we saw in the buy zone for the S&P, for the Dow, for even the Nasdaq on the 4 hours, it doesn't have the same kind of making as these charts over here. It is looking more bullish than bearish right now, but it's not a very strong confirm trends on all these time frames. All right, so let's move back into the presentation, and I want to tell you a little bit more about the advanced course. So what we do in this advanced course, it's not a 3 hours, it's 4.5 hours right now, so this is a mistake here. And it's presented by one of us in the team at Trade with Precision over 3 weeks. And it's over, again, 900, not 500, because it's we actually increased the amount of time because there's a lot of material that we are looking to cover, and we just felt that and they thought as well that 3 hours is just not enough, so they're given 4.5 hours, and there's a lot of time for questions as well. So we cover all the details of the technical ingredients that we are looking at. So what we're going to see in the advanced course, so on the first week we are going to look at technical ingredients. So a couple of the things that we actually talked about today, but I kind of rushed through them as I was analyzing the chart. We're going to see levels of support and resistance, understand them a bit better, understand what it means to have an optimal chart structure. What exactly am I after from the chart? It's not just to have an uptrend or a downtrend, but it's the behavior of the trend as well that is important. What's the difference between swing trading and day trading? What kind of trader are you? It doesn't have to be one or the other, but it does go a lot to do with personality as well. So what feels a bit better for you? You know, you can do 5-minute binaries, but only if that feels correct for you and you can handle the pressure of 5-minute binaries. Otherwise, you can look at daily and weekly if you don't have a lot of time to sit in front of the computer and trade all the time. So it has a lot of bearing into your personality and your circumstances as well. What technical ingredients we need to focus on, and which one do we actually ignore? We're going to look at, as an example, candlestick reading. We're going to do them a little bit different. We're not going to do them in the kind of chewed up way, but more understand what the candles are trying to tell us, rather than what is the name of the candle or what is the name of that pattern, because that doesn't make us help make us any clearer decision about the opportunity, but rather what the chart and the candles are telling you about what's happening in the market right now. We're also going to look at how multiple time frame help us increase the probabilities. So you've seen me doing that today, switching between time frame, looking for the best time frame for the trading opportunity, but also looking for confirmation from the next time frame up. So as we were looking at the S&P, I wanted to see, and we were looking at the 4 hours, I wanted to see that the 8 hours is also confirming the trend, because you know what, if the 8 hours was not confirming that direction, was not looking good, there wouldn't be an opportunity. And we're going to look at the recipe, the complete recipe of these two trading strategy, the momentum breakout and the trend flow as well. And then in the last session, we're going to see binaries and spreads in action. So we're going to look at live screenshots, and we're going to look at examples of opportunities, assess them together, and then look at the trades and look at the contract, which one to choose, which the more aggressive one, the more the less aggressive, the more conservative ones, and also how to deal with news and gaps and all that, and understand how can we utilize Nadex contract to trade around news. So we do have some really interesting news coming tomorrow, so you can also have if you have some sort of an idea where the result is going to be, you can look to take a binary on that one as well. We haven't had time to cover that, but if you look under the event, you can find the next major event in the market. You can see the non-farm payroll. There's a couple of levels there. If you think the market is going to come out, there's a consensus about how much the result is going to come out, and if you think it's going to be above or below, you can choose if you want to take a binary around that as well. So even though as a traditional point of trading, a traditional sense of trading around big news can take you out just because of the weeks as the market react to the news, that cannot happen with Nadex contracts, because you already have that the idea of a stop loss already ingrained inside the Nadex contract, when you're not going to lose more than what the risk is already stated out to be. So it doesn't matter if it closed 2 points against you or 150 points against you, you're going to end up with the same result. So please join us on this webinar. It's a fantastic webinar, I believe. It's a lot of information in it, and even if you're trading, you might hear something new that you like, and you can add it into your own trading strategy. So this is how you can get started, and by the way, the advanced education package is completely free for Nadex members, so you can contact Nadex and get an account and start participating in the advanced course. So we have reached the end of our presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. I've already seen a couple of comments here, and I'm glad that you find it useful. It's always very interesting what the market is going to give us on a live presentation day. Sometimes there are no opportunities, and sometimes there are opportunities galore, and everything looks fantastic. So I'm glad that we could look at a couple of markets and also find an interesting opportunity as well. All right. So any questions regarding the platform or anything, you can definitely contact Nadex. They'll be more than happy to help you. You can visit the website or email them at customerservice@nadex.com. Thank you. Great presentation as always. That's fantastic. Excellent presentation. Wow. Thank you. 2 thumbs up. Thanks. Very great information. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very useful and interesting. Would be nice to follow the course. Will it be in European time like today? Okay, so I think the course is actually done on, it's on, I think, on New York time. I think 8 p.m. I'm not sure, but it's not going to be at the same time as this one. It's going to be either 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. New York, or maybe, I think 8 p.m. I think, somewhere around that time. But it's also recorded. The sessions are being recorded, so if it's a really not a good time for you because you're in Europe, and I think it's going to come out, because it come out in the morning for Asia, so I think it's going to be the middle of the night for you, you can contact Nadex and ask them if you can watch the recording instead, because it's not very nice to do that in the middle of the night. Thank you, very nicely done. If we want the course, do we contact you or Nadex? You contact Nadex. I'm a presenter for Nadex. Will this be recorded? Yes, this has been recorded, yes. You are very educational, but a little bit talking too fast. All right, I'll take that into consideration. You know what it is? There's a lot of information that I want to convey, and sometimes it turns out I want to say all those stuff. There's only 1 hour to spend, so it sometimes gets too quick. I apologize for that. I will try to talk slower next time. Okay, thanks. Fantastic. All right, so no more questions. So thank you, everybody. There's going to be a survey at the end of this, so let us know what you think. And if you enjoy it, if you like to see more presentations like this, and I wish you a fantastic trading day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.